Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we will talk about semester second assignments for the subject operations management. This is for April 2023 cycle, so don't get confused with the regular cycle, which will come in June, which we call it as June 2023 cycle. Just give a brief. There are two cycles. One are the regular cycles, and one are the backlog cycles. So in regular cycle, the assignments will be visible to all the students, right? And for the backlog cycle, only for those students who have not cleared the subject will be able to view those assignments, right? So in the month of December, if you have given the exam or if you have not given the exam, then definitely all the subjects are pending and you need to see the assignments. And those who have given the exam and assignments, and unfortunately due to one or another reasons, they are not able to clear that particular subject, irrespective of assignments or exam. You will get the option of submitting the assignment for that particular subject under assignment sections on NMIMS portal. uh, the concept is the same, the things are the same. We have three questions, first, second, third, and third be 1,000 words plus minus 10% for each of the question, 10 marks questions. One important thing, like suppose if you have not cleared the exam and you have already cleared your assignment, still you will get an option to submit the assignment, so that you have the option to score more marks in the assignments. Like suppose initially you get 20 marks, and now if you submit the assignments, if you get 23 or 24 marks, then those 23 24 marks will be considered. If suppose for some reason you will get less marks than the previous one, suppose you get 15 or 16 marks only, in that case also the maximum of twos, right? In previous you got 20 marks, so that 20 marks will be carried forward. So it's always a win-win situation to submit those assignments where you have not cleared that particular subject. Let's quickly see the assignments. So these are the three this is the particular assignment, and if you see at the top, it's the April 2023 cycle operations management. We are having three questions: first, second, third, and third p. And in this video we just simply see that what are the different questions, what needs to be written, which page numbers to be referred to gain the maximum and the best marks, to just from a couple of pages and a couple of Google search, you can score maximum marks. So let's start with our first question. Let's down briefly the various inventory management techniques prevalent in the industry. Discuss how some of these techniques would be applicable to an educational setup in effective management of their initiatives, that is stationery consumables. Assume several inventories of your choice. So let's firstly see what page numbers to be referred. So going to this book, I'm just going to page number 166. So if you see on 166, we are having inventory planning for the independent demand items, right? So we are having the continuous demand, we are having the uncertainty of demand. After that, you need to specify what are the different types of inventory. Like one is the seasonal one, which mainly depends on the seasons. And if we talk about the question, in question it's mentioned about the educational setup. So it's pretty much obvious that in India, the sessions normally start in the month of sometimes April, May, and in some schools we are having June, July cycle. So you can consider a seasonal span of from April to June, where the books, stationery items, pencils, pens will be purchased more. Then next is the decoupling inventory, where you are manufacturing the systems typically which involve the series of production and the assembly workstations. That's not relating much to this question. You can simply say the raw materials, and like if you talk about the pencil, so pencil, for pencil the raw material will be lead and the wood. If you talk about rubber, so rubber again from the rubber. And if you talk about the various books, so paper is the raw material. So this is covers under the decoupling inventory. Then it comes as the cyclic inventory, where like the it's a cycle which has been going on. Like if you talk about a particular, like in this if you talk about the season, like similarly if we talk about some pen or pencil, so normally we say a pencil will work for maybe 20 days or maybe 15 days. So after every 15 day, a kid will buy a new a new pencil, right? If we talk about the rubber, the cycle of a rubber, if we talk about an average consumption, it will take almost a month to just finish up one rubber. So after 1 month, he will repeat buying that particular rubber. So it's a cyclic inventory. Then next one is the pipeline inventory, where pipeline inventory is simply where the level of inventory carries out in the long run due to non-zero lead time, maybe for the transport or for receipt of materials from the suppliers. So this is one type of inventory. Then safety stock is simply called as a buffer stock, which you are creating when we are having some uncertainties in demand and supply. Maybe the student will purchase in between, right? So this is the various types of inventory. Then it comes as the inventory cost, where you just mentioned the different types of inventory costs, where we normally classified it into the three broad categories for carrying the inventory, for ordering the materials, and arising due to the shortages. So you can just give a brief of all of these three. That is another part which you need to cover. Then next part comes as the inventory cost for the deterministic. I think that you need not to page number 171. It's covered with 6.4. Yes. So you need to mention this thing as well. Inventory control for deterministic demand items that you can specify in brief, nothing in detail. Right. Then after that it comes as handling uncertainty of demand, because sometimes uncertainty may arise, and you need to think and you need to work in that situation. So uncertainty is again one aspect you need to cover. And after that we covers the inventory control systems, which is Q system and the P systems. Not in detail, but yes, you can mention issues not required to be mentioned. Then next part comes as last but not the least comes as the service control of inventory, where you can specify the different type of classification, like you can say the ABC classification, you can say the XYZ classification, FSN classification, VD classification. So you can just give a brief, nothing in detail. You can specify. So this is all about first question. The first question is a little bit bookish one. But you need to relate it more with the educational setup. So if you talk about some educational setup, you need to think of what are the raw materials, what will be the goods which are being required in an educational setup. So this is all about the first question. Moving on to the second question, what are the various decision criteria for deciding a location for a business setup? Explain these decision criteria with reference to a location setup for setting up an automobile service shop. So this is one of the most common question which is being asked in every, means based on my experiences, like for the past 3 or 4 years, you can see it continuously coming in all the cycles. Maybe it's a regular cycle or maybe it's a backlog cycle. So this question is pretty much common. But see, the first part is common in all the all almost all the cycles, like the decision criteria for deciding a business setup. But every time they just change for setting up any particular shop. Like if here it's coming as automobile, last time I think it was a hotel setup, previous to that it was a hospital setup. So first part remains the same. Second part, you need to think, you need to analyze various factors which are being required for that particular setup. Here in this case, it's automobile service shop, right? So let's see what page numbers to be referred and what needs to be mentioned into this. So page number 27, I think it's on page number, yeah. So factors affecting the location decision, right? So you just need to firstly specify that what are the various factors, like what are the market related issues you need to specify. Then after that you need to specify the cost related issues, then regulatory order policy issues or some other issues, right? And after that you need to specify with respect to a particular automobile shop. So if I talk about an automobile shop, it's an automobile, not it's sorry, it's not an automobile shop, it's an automobile service shop, right? So if you talk about services automobile, so firstly you need to think for an area where maximum population resides, right? Obviously no person will come after traveling 5 or 6 kilometers for the service, so you need to choose a place which is near to a densely populated area, right? Second thing, it comes like it's an automobile, right? So people should afford the automobile, right? It should not be a where the people can only afford you can say cycles, or you can say with no vehicle they just travel public transport. No, they should be capable enough to just have one automobile, right? That's another factor. Then the third factor is where the transport facilities are not much, or you can say where the people are regularly getting them service, right? Many people now thinks that okay, we just continue running with our current maybe vehicle for next 3 years or 4 years. The people should have that mindset that okay, they need a regular service on regular and timely basis. Then next one is the road facility. The road facility where there is a little bit traffic, definitely traffic should be there, and the road conditions are not much good. Why? Because if the road conditions are good, then definitely the tires will work in a better condition. So that's a little bit on a negative side, but yes, you can specify. Then next part is come visibility. It should be visible, it should be people should know that okay, there is some automobile shop over there. That next thing. Then labor availability, labors or raw materials should be easily available. Transportation should be good over there. So these are the certain factors which you need to think while thinking for a location for a particular automobile shop, right? Maybe you can just Google out. You can find a little bit more. Maybe if you write five or six, and it's totally fine. So I think second question is pretty much clear. Moving to the third question. The third question is a restaurant chain is planning to open a new mid-size multi-cuisine restaurant. Considering their expertise and knowledge in the food and beverages services, they are confident of getting into a new restaurant operation. You are required to suggest a team of the following points. What strategy would the restaurant adopt for the AOP? Is aggregate operation plans of resources given a time frame of a year, right? So the page numbers to refer, it's 99. So if you go to the page number 99, we are having the basic strategies of the aggregate operations planning, right? So if we talk about this case, we are having generally two types of strategies. One is the revel strategy, and second is the chase strategy, and the third one is the combination of revel and chase strategy, right? So if we talk about the level strategy, here emphasis is not disturbing the existing operation at all, right? They just continue with the constant workforce without changing any parameters. They just continuously work on the same level of inventory, irrespective of any change in the purchase, sorry, in the supply or the demand, right? But if we talk about the question, its question says about the restaurant, right? So you are pretty much aware that restaurant works on seasonal basis, right? It's not a seasonal basis, but yes, you can say the demand continuously changes, right? If we talk about a daily setup in the morning, you require less people because mostly people will go to the offices. In the noon time, again there's a low strength, but in the evening there's heavy rush when the people get free and they just plan to have dine out on with their family. That is one aspect. Second thing is on weekends, so mostly people avoid going for the maybe breakfast or lunch or dinner on the weekends, or maybe on the leaves when they get. So it depends on the situation, and it purely depends on the uh, weekdays or the weekends. So in this case, it's very important that they should not focus on the level strategy, so that is not a part. But if we talk about the chase strategy, so chase strategy is simply like when purchase demand is high, they just get some more manpower. When they are having low supply or low demand, then they just continue with no labor. This is a chase strategy. But chase strategy also won't work because it's not a mandate that in breakfast nobody will come, or maybe in weekdays nobody will come in the breakfast or lunch. There will be a rush, but a little bit lower in comparison to the weekends or the dinners, right? So comes the third strategy, which is a mixed strategy. It is a combination of the chase and level strategy. So you continue with the few labor as a permanent, you can say full time. A few you can hire based on the requirement, right? Like suppose you are having a team of 10 people, so you can just have 3 or 4 people as a permanent labor. They will be available 24/7, and you can hire 6 labor based on the demand. When the demand is high, you can just hire 3, 4, 5, 6 people to just work around, and you can provide the continuous supply of the delivery items, right? So this is the way the mixed strategy will be the best one, which fits for the restaurant, uh, you can say restaurant planning, right? Now moving to the third big question, where we need to discuss about the Q system and the P system of ordering. So going to the page number 176. So in inventory control system, you can just firstly give, okay, what is this inventory control system? And after that, you can just specify two things. One is a continuous review system, where which we normally call as the two bin system, where you can just bring a balance stock in the two bins. One is the smaller bin and the uh, larger bin. So as the materials consumed, the larger bin is emptied first, and after that, you can have the smaller bin, right? So this is the one way. The second way is about the periodic review system, where you, as the name suggests, that periodically the things are being reviewed and periodically things are being considered, right? So these are the two types of inventory control systems, auditing system, which you can just mention in the third B questions. It's pretty much straightforward, so nothing much being required for this question. So I think we have covered all the three questions, and if you have any doubts or facing any issue, you can feel free to connect to me at njsc.mba@gmail.com. And if you like this video, do like, do subscribe, and stay connected for further videos. Thank you so much.